Good evening, everyone. Good evening for all the audience who are joining us in today's webinar series. A warm welcome to all of you, and thanks for taking out the time to get out of your routine work and jumping on this webinar. We are waiting for all the audience to come in slowly, and then we will, of course, start with this webinar session formally in a couple of minutes. This webinar will last somewhere around 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I will start formally at 7:05. I will give some more time for the people to come in because, of course, there's been a gap in this webinar after the Ramadan holidays. So we're looking forward to get our regular people back. Of course, the new audience to look and collaborate more. So warm welcome, good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're joining in different time zones on this PMI UAE web chapter webinar series with all of us. We have got near about 250 plus registrations in today's webinar, and we are hoping to get as much as people to come in with us. So far, I can see 50 is touching us, so I'm quite hopeful we will cross easily 200 somehow. Meanwhile, for the people who are joining it first time, just to give you a structure about the webinar series, my name is Anshul. I will introduce myself also again, and I'm the host and webinar moderator for you guys today. I'm being joined with Mr. Ankur Arora. He's also co-hosting the webinar with me. And of course, our esteemed guest, Dr. Nikolina, is also with us. Very warm welcome, Nikolina. And also, after the crazy stuff going around Dubai, I hope everybody is well safe and quite most importantly that people need to understand that, guys, this kind of disasters help us in terms of understanding our preparation as well around city, and also the disaster recovery procedures got triggered off. So I hope everybody is safe, fine-tuned, and we are looking forward to have more and more people coming in together with us after this crazy stuff 2 days ago in the terms of storm and rains in Dubai and the region around. We have 7:02 now, and 52 people have joined us. So that's good progress now. And today's topic, of course, we know that it's about artificial intelligence and the future of work, and how the Gen AI, which is one of the subset of the AI, can redefine the work productivity for all of us. We will get much more deep dive with the session and with our host as well, and as well as the speaker. Meanwhile, let's see and just stay tuned with more people to come in, and then we will launch in 7:05 typically. Meanwhile, for the people who are joined, just for the information, we have an annual gathering session as well, and for the PMI UAE chapter, and that is being announced, and registration for that would be opening after this webinar formally, and that is being slated to get organized on 5th of May, Sunday, in Dubai Marina, so that the whole details will be available in all the social media channel and on the PMI UAE website as well. Feel free to start registering for it. Looking forward to meet all of you in person and to collaborate and have a lovely session together. That would be a really astonishing one, because we have near about half a day or something with the great speakers coming in, keynotes, and also the panel discussion would be the part of that. So looking forward for the people who are joining first time and who want to participate in the annual gathering. Warm welcome, and looking forward to have a great session going ahead in May now. Good. So I think we are still getting the people on slowly. Please feel free to start introducing yourself in the chat as normal people do it. Introduce yourself, where you're joining from. And also it will help us to really understand that the range from the people, they are coming from which background, which location they're joining. It will be really interesting for us to know how these webinars are helping you, and how we can make that better as well. So keep the messages flowing in. I'm seeing it, they are getting flooded in the chat. So we warm welcome to all the people who are putting that. I hope you people will make the best of this session today. Great. Nilesh from UAE. We have the certain people coming from as well. Pakistan, Junaid. Good evening, Junaid. People from Egypt. Marwan from Egypt. Great. Great to have you. Beirut. So somebody from Hisham from Beirut. Kuwait, India. So a lot of audience coming from different region as well as we expected. Okay, great. So I think that's a good time for us to start out there from Abu Dhabi. Well, warm welcome to Christoph. What I'm going to do is that let me introduce the chapter to all of you for the people who are joining first time in that case. This webinar is basically is 1 hour and 15 minutes. And of course, we will introduce you to the chapter. Before I introduce the chapter, let me just tell you about the topic, what we are today. And Dr. Nikolina, who is our esteemed speaker today, will guide us on how shall we apply and embrace this all AI new trends and to stay ahead with the fast developments, and especially in the area of Gen AI. It will also encompass the overview of the latest advancement happening in this space. And also we'll try to demonstrate that the tools that can transform everyday's work processes and the productivity for everyday tasks for all of us, no matter which construction field, which e-commerce field, which oil and gas field you come from. Okay, this is something which is agonistic to everybody, and that will definitely help all of us. With me, people are joining: Amir, Parvez, Ankur, and that's from the events team. So they are joining me today to help me out there. And some housekeeping notes would be, if you want to ask the questions, definitely feel free to put those questions in the Q&A section, which Amir would be opening us already. And then you can put those questions there. We will try to logically knit your questions and put it to Dr. Nikolina at the end of the session. And we try to answer as many as possible given the time frame what we have. Let me share my screen quickly with all of you to give you the quick introduction about the chapter now. Okay, great. Sure. So again, chapter is of course the UAE chapter, and then the chapter is representing Project Management Institute, which is the parent entity, which was founded in 1969. And then 50 years later, now PMI is the source and resource for all the things around project management as a de facto standards. So one of the largest professional association, its global reach and credentials are well known, sponsored and published a lot of research and thought leadership, and of course the training accreditation as well. Coming to the chapter side of the thing, UAE chapter is working very hard to establish itself and has been very proud about it, with the vision statement of empowering and influence individuals with innovative project economy principles and turn ideas into their reality. With the mission statement supporting it to disrupt and create value, driven opportunities to our chapter members and partners to become agile, innovative, productive in the platform for the growth of project economy. Some introduction snippets about chapter. As you can see, it's 100% run by only volunteers, more than 3,300 active chapter members. It's a really great thing to know that for all of us. Ranked among top 5 chapters in the EMI region. And then of course, focus is on the leading industry and trends for all of us. We also are the people who really get PMI certified at times, and then of course, lead those practices into our work and also outside the work as well. Okay, and we dependent on all of you to make our chapter activities as interactive and invigorating as possible by these interaction, and also by the different activities and events what we do together. Our board is led by Mr. Adil Sultan as a president, and rest of the board of directors from the different segments to support him in all these endeavors. Some membership benefits about the PMI. As you must be knowing, PMI itself offers its membership benefits with the PMBOK and the exclusive content to the members with the standards and PMI tools and templates. Chapter benefits are also phenomenal. I would say that they are coming from 4 pillars: networking opportunities, knowledge sharing, career growth, and events. This series, what we are doing, is a part of diversified webinar section of the events part. Recently, we have also been making some more innovative approaches from the chapter side. We have the members corner, we have a spotlight, and the beyond basics. And these are all the opportunities for all the chapter members to get the wider scope about the project management fraternity. This is all evolving and innovating. So just keep yourself abreast with all the PMI UAE chapter social media handles. And of course, the PMIUAE.org is a website on this segment. You will get enough information about events and all the things happening around with all of us. So that was about the chapter, guys. Thank you so much for the people who have joined so recently, lately. 71 or so we have seen over there. And now basically Dr. Nikolina, let me just introduce her. She has been the senior marketing professional and a practice-oriented academic, currently serving as a department chair of management in College of Business Administration at American University in Emirates. She has more than 20 years of experience of industry and academic in North America, Europe, and UAE. She holds a PhD in marketing research, specializing in market research and analytics. Her experience includes consulting and management position in marketing, digital transformations, and evaluation and assessments. Dr. Nikolina conducted and supervised more than 100 industry research. Really, that was really great thing to know, and developing the project as a director of research in the market and in public. All these research agencies are the market research consultants for different institutions and companies she has been instrumental with. And her professional and academic interests are related to AI application. That's why we are talking about AI today, right? And in the business and marketing space, various aspects of digital transformations pertaining to market and business, human technology interaction, and applying market research and analytics. So this is about Dr. Nikolina today. And of course, we are eager to hear her out with her own voice, with her own perspective, with her own slides now. Floor is over to you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, and good evening, afternoon, wherever you are, maybe morning, depending where you are in the world now. It's my pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for the PMI chapter UAE for inviting me to deliver this webinar. I will be sharing my screen with you now. Just a second. Okay. So here it is. Okay, so I hope everyone can see it's shared. Okay. So once again, good evening, and thank you again for the introduction. When it comes to AI and generative AI, I have been really intensively working on this since the last year and a half. I mean, we cannot say that anyone is really an expert in this area, considering how new it all is. But during this really short time, it really became clear how important those technologies are and what are the potential use for all different areas and fields that we can work in. When I was thinking how to set up this presentation, and I mentioned this, we had a quick talk before the start of the presentation. I know that you're coming from many different areas, from many different disciplines. It's sometimes challenging to find something that would cover all of this. So I hope that whatever is the area that you're working at, that you will be able to find something that will be useful for you and for your everyday work. I'm not going to focus on any theory or anything related to, you know, what is generative AI, how it works. This is not the scope of this webinar. I just want to introduce some of the tools. The tools that I will be talking about are the tools that I am actually using on a daily or weekly basis, depending on what are the tools that we are looking at. I excluded all the research tools. I'm using a lot of research tools also for academic research, but I don't think that would be very much relevant in this context. And just trying to give you an overview of all of this. Having said that, I think to go in depth into each and every of these tools, I think we would need at least a day-long workshop. But I'm just hoping to inspire you to go on your own and to explore some of those tools and try them on, especially considering that majority of those tools are either freely available, are there some of the things and some of the functionalities are available for free, so that you can test them and see how they can work for you. When we are talking about the productivity, there have already been some research done. I mean, I'm a professor, I have to mention at least some of the research. Actually, the one that I'm referring here, it's done in MIT. It's published in the Science Journal, one of the best scientific journals. And they were testing actually the work productivity with ChatGPT, with utilization of ChatGPT. And basically, according to those results, that the average time needed to complete a task decreased by 40%, and output quality was increased by 18%. This really shows the potential for generative AI to impact our work productivity. And I am sure that considering you're here, that many of you have already tested at least some of the tools, and that maybe you're already applying them in your work and you have some experience already. One of the things also that have been noted so far, that generative AI tools can be more helpful for early career professionals, especially ChatGPT and writing with ChatGPT, compare maybe to senior ones, but this is something that basically makes sense. I believe we don't need to discuss what is generative AI, that everyone are aware. So with generative AI, we can create all kind of different content. These are the content creation tool, and these are the way to automatically create content by writing the prompt in natural language. So literally talking to machine in our natural language and getting the feedback. What I'm showing here, this chart, I don't know how to call it. I mean, you can see, I guess you already saw a lot of those. And frankly, I just put it as an illustration because I find those things very confusing. If you would like to test all of those things, I don't know, probably we would all have to quit and only spend time testing all those tools. So what I see as a challenge, and what I'm receiving as a feedback from many of my colleagues and students also, is just there are just so many tools out there. I mean, we started with ChatGPT, and then there were some more additional tools, but at the end, we ended with so many tools that we are overwhelmed. Like, where to start? Who has time to test all of those things that you can see here? So what is, I think, the most important, not to get lost in this plethora, in this wood of new applications and new solutions that are based on generative AI, and to actually find tools that would be useful for you, that will be useful for your work, and specialized to increase your efficiency, to increase your productivity in whatever is this that you do in your area and your discipline. Having said that, I prepared the overview of some of the tools that I am using. The tools that you see here are some of the tools that I'm using most often in my work. I'm a marketeer and a marketing professor, so obviously we are using generative AI and generative AI application for content creation. We're already teaching, this is already integrated in my courses to show students how to work with them, and I'm also applying many of those in day-to-day work. So I'm just briefly going to go one by one, just so you might be familiar with some of those. You might hear for the first time about some of those. And then later on, I actually will focus on one of those tools, representative of each group of different tools, and get in depth into that one so that you can have an overview and understand what is it that you can do with them. Starting with ChatGPT, I think no need to explain, everyone I'm sure that you all tried it and that you might be already using it. So that you know how it works. Two similar tools that you can use basically for the text creation and writing is Google Gemini. It has been improved. Before it was Bard, now is Gemini. Now Gemini model has been improved, it's better. Bard was really not that good in comparison with ChatGPT, but Gemini is better. And one good thing with Gemini is that you can create images for free. In ChatGPT, to create text to image generation, you have to pay for ChatGPT 4. ChatGPT 3.5 is free, but if you want to have DALL-E module, the one that you can see here, it is integrated in ChatGPT. You would have to have a subscription to ChatGPT 4.0. Claude is another text-based generative AI, which can create like written content. It's quite good, but for me personally, I'm used, but I'm finding that the best quality output that I'm getting is actually coming from ChatGPT. Of course, ChatGPT is much more than only text. We have text to image for DALL-E. We have analysis module and a lot of specialized GPTs that are now created by the community and that you can further explore. And you can create also some of your own GPTs for your own purpose. Going forward to text to image tools, as I mentioned, there is DALL-E. DALL-E was at the beginning, a year and a half ago, when ChatGPT 3.5 was launched. DALL-E was a separate tool. Then when the ChatGPT 4.0 was launched, DALL-E has been integrated into ChatGPT 4. So once when you get a subscription, you will also have a DALL-E module where you can generate any type of images. From my perspective, DALL-E is good. It's nice. It's giving you like good output, solid, but my really preferred and the most favorite text to image generator is Midjourney. Midjourney is text to image generative AI that you can access through Discord platform. And it used to have like the free trial, but at one point it stopped working. So right now it has to be paid for it to work. But the quality of the Midjourney outputs is really uncomparable to any of other three that I have here or anything else that I have seen. If you have the opportunity, if creating rich images, if you're into creative industry, really the options, and they're opening more and more options for Midjourney, I would definitely recommend exploring that one. Leonardo AI is an also interesting tool. It has a free trial. It has some amount of credits that you can use daily to generate new pictures and images and illustrations. It's for me somewhere in a level of DALL-E or maybe Gemini, but again not really near Midjourney compared to that one. Ideogram is here for one reason, and I will show this later on. And the reason is that all those tools, DALL-E, Midjourney, Leonardo, they're not really good with text. So when you want some text to be written, it's probably not going to look best. You will have to try several times, and maybe at the end, it is not going to be properly written. You might have some gibberish text. You might have some text with, spelling errors in English or some strange words. So those tools are not really good with text. The only tool that can make some decent text and posters is actually Ideogram. It's a little bit newer tool, but when I was exploring, it was actually giving quite good results. Going further to other tools, the three next tools, Synthesia, HeyGen, and Runway, are text to video generators. Basically, you can put a textual input and you can generate a video. Synthesia and HeyGen are also providing an opportunity to create the videos with either their avatars, or you can actually import your own avatar, and your own avatar can talk about whatever you want. You can even clone your own voice, and you can have options actually to talk on different languages. My preferred, two of the most popular are actually Synthesia and HeyGen. My preferred is HeyGen here, and I will show you some examples of how it works also later on. Hookus and Leia are tools that can enable you to actually generate website AI-driven also text to, not image, text to website based on the textual input. The whole web pages can be generated. They're very interesting tools. If you are developing some web sites, if this is something that is relevant for you, I also recommend exploring those. I will show you some examples of how they look like. And they also have the integrated AI writers, AI image creators. So many of the things when it comes to website creation, especially the micro website, the one-page website, can be actually automated and created pretty quickly with Focus and Leia. Last but not least, there are so many different amazing tools, but we'll not have time today to go over all of them, is Scribe. And Scribe is really a tool that is that I'm really extensively using. It enables you to document your workflows, to actually generate the guides if you're doing something, if you're, for example, for software, for web. I will show how this looks later on. It's completely automated, and it can create a guide in a completely automated way. So the first thing before I get there is that I wanted also to address shortly is prompt writing. Prompt writing is really extremely important. And the way how we talk with AI, this is something that will absolutely impact the output that we're going to get. So the quality of our output will be dependent on the quality of our input. So one thing is that don't stop with the first output, with the first prompt that you place. Take it as a starting point and then refine and revise and until you receive the results that you really, really like. That would be maybe a first step. Prompts we need to distinguish between prompts that we want to have for the textual output or for some analytics or preparing some, written content compared to prompts for images. Prompts for textual output can be really complex, and there is something called mega prompts I'm going to show you later. These are extremely long prompts that are giving step-by-step instruction on what should be done in a way that generative AI should behave to give you the output that you really want to have. Prompts for the image output should be simpler because your image-generated AI can get a little bit confused if you give them a lot of different inputs and commands at the same time. It should follow a certain structure. I will show you how this preliminary structure looks like, and then for the more complex project, it will be quite more complex. It will have some different parameters. Again, review the output to ensure what is it that you can do. I also asked ChatGPT, okay, what's your advice? How we should write a good prompt? And you can see here what are the advices from ChatGPT how to write a good prompt, and you will be able to read it after the presentation. I believe this presentation will be shared with you, so you will have an opportunity to have a look at this. One additional source that I would like to, if you're not already familiar with, is the website learnprompting.org. This is the website that started initially as an open source, and everyone were contributing to this. And we were all learning, like a year and a half when everything started, we were actually all learning from this particular website. Now, after some time, I think a month or 2 months ago, they have actually created the courses that you can register for there. There is, I think, Introduction to ChatGPT. This is a basic course, and this is free for all, and it's Introduction to Prompting with ChatGPT. However, now they have some, again, subscription and they have created many other more advanced prompting courses. So if this is something that is interesting for you, I mean, I would really advise everyone to at least have a look at the basic course. And if this is something that interests you, definitely this is a good and reputable source where you can learn a lot about prompting from the basic to very, very advanced topics such as prompt hacking and creating advanced prompts. I mentioned before mega prompts. So mega prompt, I'm showing here like the outline, the anatomy of the ChatGPT mega prompt and what are the things that should be included there. So you have, they're very, very detailed. They have specific instructions, and typically they will have 6 sections. One would be to simulate persona. For example, behave as a marketing expert with 20 years of experience. So you would provide a persona, you would give a task, you would give a specific steps that ChatGPT needs to do to complete a task. You will provide the context, you will provide the constraints. Think about writing a mega prompt in a way how you would write, for example, a brief for an agency or for some company who's outsourcing the part of your work. So this is mega prompt, and again, following this particular structure can lead to really detailed and well-written outputs. What is meta prompt? Meta prompt is actually, you can create a prompt to write a prompt. We're not going to go into details in that, but also to understand if you really need a really well-written and well-structured mega prompt, you can actually first create a meta prompt that you will then activate to write another prompt and then to have your output. So again, all those things are a little bit more advanced prompting, but if this is something of interest to you, there are really a lot of different courses and opportunity to go in depth into this area. So when it comes to writing with AI, I think that you already know this, I presume. So yes, definitely. It can summarize documents. If you have GPT-4, you can actually upload your document on ChatGPT and ask to be summarized, and you will get a summarized document. If you have, for example, I'm sure that you might be using it for generating ideas. For example, in my area in marketing, this is a really nice way to actually apply generative AI for brainstorming, for ideas generation, because you might have 4 ideas and then you might get 3 or 4 more while using. It's really good for any creative tasks. As I mentioned before, you can teach it to provide prompts. So your generative AI can write prompts for its own or maybe for other generative AI. So this is another thing that they can do. Another interesting thing, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about this, is to teach it to write in your voice, meaning to teach that everything that they are going, that ChatGPT, in this example that I'm going to use, is going to produce, is actually going to mimic your own writing style. We know that sometimes if you ask ChatGPT, okay, I need, I don't know, essay, I don't know, maybe my students are asking this, I hope not. I need this document or need essay, it will use certain words, and there is even some research showing that ChatGPT tends to use some words more often. Sometimes it's really going to, kind of sound impersonal. And I'm sure you've seen this. Many people started using ChatGPT for writing maybe emails, for writing, I see it often writing LinkedIn posts. So it all, sounds similar, and you can easily recognize if something is written with ChatGPT. When you teach it to write it in your voice, in your own style, then it will sound a little bit different. So I will show you how to do it in a short time. Again, checking writing, you can ask if English is not your first language, you're not sure about maybe style or how to handle something. It can be pretty good in checking writing, in proofreading, in checking punctuation and grammar errors. So it can be really useful for that. And again, if you have some suggestion, if you want to brainstorm on some problem solution, you can give them the command to go with step-by-step solution. Many times, it will give you better output when you actually put in a request. Please analyze this case and provide a solution step by step, or think that step by step and show every single step. So these are some of the things where you can apply all those tools when it comes to writing. So looking at how you can teach ChatGPT, I'm now focusing on ChatGPT, to write in your own voice, to write in your own style. So in case that you're a published author, that you already have a lot of your content and writing content online, you can actually ask ChatGPT, are you familiar with me? And if it knows you, you can ask it, can you copy my writing? So let me give you some example how this works with some of the kind of popular writers. So my first prompt here is, do you know J.K. Rowling and her writing style? Can you mimic her writing style in your responses? So ChatGPT is providing, of course, it's familiar, and it's providing the description of her narratives. She's an author of the Harry Potter books. So what my request was, write a 100-word story about AI in J.K. Rowling writing style. What we're getting it's something Harry Potter looked like, in a heart of an ancient library, nestled between tombs, bound in spider silk and moonbeam, and so on and so forth. So you can see how the writing style has been adjusted. If we just asked ChatGPT, write a 100-word story about AI, it would probably provide something in this neutral style that is a typical ChatGPT style. So I said, okay, let's ask it another thing. Immanuel Kant, the philosopher. So I ask, are you familiar with Immanuel Kant? And of course, it says yes. And it provided the analysis of the style. The good thing is when you're asking about writing style, ChatGPT will give you the analysis of the style. And you will see later why this is important. Again, I asked to write a 100-word story, and you can see how this story is now completely different, with 2 different words, trying to mimic the style of Immanuel Kant. Okay, but not many of us are published authors and have enough of the written content that AI can actually mimic and copy. So what should we do about that? We can do, you would need to have ChatGPT for that. So what you can do, you can provide your own writing. You can provide a sample of your writing. You can upload like a big Word document with different sample, or PDF document, whatever you want, with your own style, and ask ChatGPT to copy this writing style. You should name this style. So basically, when you refer to that one, it should know that this is your writing style. So here, this is what I did. I ask it, can you review the sample written content, mimic the writing style of the sample in your responses, and let's call this Nikolina writing style. And then it said, okay, so I can do it. So what I did, I put a document having a lot of articles from my LinkedIn newsletter. That would be my writing style there. And I explained, I wanted to read this and mimic this writing style in your responses. So what ChatGPT is providing, it's providing, again, the description of my writing style: professional tone, clear structure, application, content marketing, education. So you have a description here. Again, I ask exactly the same thing. Write 100 word story about AI and Nikolina writing style. And with the exception of this bustling that I don't think I ever used in my own writing, everything else is, let's say, pretty much aligned with my writing style. So it could be like a draft where you can start from and then develop this further on. So this would be the way if you need something written in your own writing style, if you want to create some content, some written content, that would be the way to not have actually this, then the neutral output that sounds the same for everyone. Because the more we learn about generative AI and everything that's out there, the more we'll learn to recognize this. And then when we recognize that something has been written, bluntly, an email that someone completely wrote with ChatGPT, you can think of, okay, they really did not take a lot of time or a lot of attention to really create this email. So this is something that can help you still to have, to increase your productivity in writing, but at the same time to preserve at least some of the components of your writing style. Another thing that you can do, if you uploaded your own writing samples, and you have here you have the description. You can even ask, can you give me even more detailed description of my writing style here? What you can do, you can actually set up ChatGPT to respond in this writing style every time, if this is the main thing and the main reason why you're using it. How you can do it, you can go and customize it there. You can go here, go to customize ChatGPT here, and put the custom instructions. How would you like it to respond? And then your custom instructions can be every time use this writing style, and you will give a detailed description of the writing style. You can save it, and then you actually customize every single report, every single output that is coming from ChatGPT-4. Again, you need to have ChatGPT-4 for that. Going further with ChatGPT, this one is the most popular, and I think majority of people are actually using ChatGPT. Data analysis module, when you have GPT-4, there is a data analysis module. As I mentioned, there is the regular ChatGPT, there is DALL-E module, and there is data analysis module. And in this data analysis module, you have an option to upload different documents, different formats of documents, and it will provide the analysis. In my experience, it is quite good with qualitative analysis, but I would still be cautious with quantitative analysis. With qualitative data, for example, if you have some transcripts of conversations, you want to analyze it, you want to see some of the main themes, you want to summarize it, it is quite good, really, with qualitative data and qualitative data analysis. With quantitative, I don't know, I'm a kind of, maybe it's because I'm really used to work with quantitative software. So I would say I still maybe trust them more. Maybe over time it will be better. But what is available there, I did not have opportunity to test many of those quantitative data analysis GPTs, and they have been created recently. But now those custom versions of ChatGPT, they're actually upgraded versions. In some cases, they're connected to some external applications, and then they can provide some additional things and additional functionalities that ChatGPT itself might not be able to do. So I would encourage you to explore. You have an option, explore GPTs, and there are really so many. There is a GPT store, similar way that we have App Store. There is now GPT store opening, and you can see all the public GPTs and try them on and use them. And of course, you can create GPTs of your own, but we don't have time to go over that. But this is also something that is a very interesting thing that you can experiment with, and you can work with ChatGPT. So another interesting thing that you can actually do and it's pretty decent in that one, is that it can conduct your SWOT analysis based on the attached document, and it can identify a lot of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And also it can conduct the tools analysis based on the provided SWOT analysis. So does it mean that you should put your document, if you're preparing a report, I'm just going to put it in ChatGPT and just going to copy paste whatever is there? No, but it can be helpful. It can speed up. It will, we tested this, just briefly, we tested this in class, and I had a group of students working separately on those analyses, manually, and I had a group of students working on data analysis with ChatGPT, and they were overlapping around 70% in what they have identified and what was identified with this tool. So really, this can really speed up the process and give you maybe some insights and some ideas that you did not remember, it did not come up to your mind at that particular time. It can create graphs, but with graphs, there is a problem. First, there is a problem in words, and there is still not that, there are better tools to create graphs, but can it create graphs? Yes, it can. Going forward, I think we are fine. Yes, we have around 25 minutes left. So we are all creating PowerPoints, right? Starting from this one, whatever it is that you do, sooner or later, you're probably going to end creating certain PowerPoints. So how we can speed up this process? One of the things that you can do, you can create your PowerPoint outline with ChatGPT. You can adjust the content, and you can actually enter the content manually. If you're working in PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, that would be my preferred really way to do it is to do actually you use the designer in PowerPoint to get some suggestions for the visuals to look nice. And you can adjust them and per your preferences and needs. That would be, that would speed up the process a little bit, but maybe not that fast, but it will give you a lot of opportunities to actually, edit and add a lot of things from your own. But there is a very fast actually way to create PowerPoint, even though they're not going to be very beautiful, but you will still need to edit graphics. So you can create Visual Basic Application script in PowerPoint for your presentation. So you will request ChatGPT to create VBA script for PowerPoint. You will give it a topic, and it will create you will receive a code. You will see a code. You should copy this code. In a PowerPoint, you will go to View and Macros, enter macro name, click on Create. MS Visual Basic for application will open. You can actually, you have step-by-step guides how to do it, so you can try it on when you get the presentation. You can go step-by-step. Literally, you can copy the script, you can click on Run, and your PowerPoint will be generated. So it will need you about 3 minutes to create a PowerPoint presentation from script to PowerPoint using macros. So this is the prompt that I use for generating VBA code. So you can, it's a very basic, you can expand it. You can say, I want to, you will see, I will show you the example of the output, what I got there. You will see, you can expand the guidelines. You can say, for example, on each slide, I want to have at least 4 to 5 bullet points related to this and that. You can have mega prompt for this if you want, if you really want to get something that is really in-depth when it comes to content. Based on this content, this is what I got in 2 minutes. You can see that it does not really look well. When it comes to design, but there is some content, something is happening here. The one thing that you cannot get with this code and macros, you're not going to be able to get any images. You can only change the color of the background of your presentation. So this presentation, okay, it's white, but it could be pink, red, blue, whatever. But you will need to manually actually add any of the images of graphs and charts and everything that you want to add here. But it can give you in an extremely short period of time It can give you some outline and some ideas to work with. And if you take time and really invest some time to create a really detailed prompt for something, then it will give you a little bit more in depth and a little bit better slides with more content on a slide. But I encourage you to try this. You have prompt and you can expand the prompt, you can experiment with it and see what is it that you can get at the end of the day when it comes to PowerPoint. Another thing that you can use, there are also tools that will enable you to generate PowerPoint literally from text to PowerPoint. You have links here, you can try them on. One of the most famous and the one that is mostly used is Octopus, and literally you can type, as you can see, so you can type in any prompt that you want and click on generate my presentation and you will have a presentation. Again, for me, every presentation would need some additional work. You cannot take it as it is. Any of the outputs of the generative AI, you should not take as it is and then submit. I mean, this is treat everything that you're getting from generative AI as a draft, something that you will need to put more work in it. But also you can try out those tools and then see what you're going to get and what is actually the most convenient and best way for you to create PowerPoint presentations. When it comes to images, I also mentioned many. I mean, all images that you see in this PowerPoint, by the way, every single image is generated by AI, except for this strange chart with a lot of AI solution that I took from the internet, but all illustration, everything that is here is AI generated. Some of those were generated by Midjourney, some with DALL-E, some with some different tools. But you can, for example, see, let's say this is generated by Midjourney. This is generated by Midjourney. This one too, but this one is DALL-E and this was a Gemini. So you can see a little bit of the difference how Midjourney is giving, I'd say, a little bit more artistic output compared to other two. What I mentioned before when it comes to this ideogram AI, and I will show you the example right now. So you can see, I put exactly the same prompt that you can see here into ChatGPT, into DALL-E actually, and ideogram. So I said, I want to create a poster visually comparing bad and good prompts. We're talking about good and bad prompts, so why not? Let me create a poster that would present. So when you want to create something with text, you should specify the text that you want to be written there still. So the bad prompt section should be written, and then there is the what should be written. The same thing goes for the good prompt section. So what I received from DALL-E is, well, very interesting, but I'm not sure that that would be useful for anyone. So this is literally, I mean, I did not cut it. This is literally the image that I got. So it's like half of some poster bad prompts, half of the good prompts. And as you can see, the words are really, I mean, that's not English, many of those things, and there is a lot of errors. At the same time, looking at ideogram, what I got, except for there are some minor things here, but it actually got the text right. So if you're looking to create something that needs text, I would recommend you to test this one. I believe that over time, those tools will get better with text, and maybe within a year, this is not going to be an issue. I mean, those tools, we are testing them, more and more. They're getting more advanced. They're learning every time that we want something to be rewritten. When we give a feedback, every time AI is learning and learning again and again. So basically, I think that over time this might not be a problem, and that we would literally be able to generate like full posters with really, really good text. But right now, if you want to create something like that, I would recommend you to test ideogram and to play a little bit with that. You're not going to get perfect results in ideogram every time, but you're definitely going to get much, much better results there. With Midjourney, it's also not really good. So it would probably the images and would look a little bit better, but other than that, there is a problem with text still. So you can test it and see how it's going to work when it comes to that part. What I mentioned before is that when we are writing prompts for images, they're a little bit different compared to prompts for text. For text, we can have the super huge prompts and we can structure them, or we can just, ask questions and have a literally conversation with the chatbot. But when it comes to image generator prompt, if you really want to get a good output, then you should follow a certain style. You should follow a certain structure in a prompt. So typically, the structure would look like that you would have a subject explaining, so what is the subject of the image that you want to generate. Then you will add action and process, and then you will have looks and style. In this section, looks and style, then you can add many other things, many other parameters that would be very, very specific for images, like the similar things when you're using for the photography. So you can continue with those specific parameters at the end, but you will get really, really much better output if you keep to this really simpler prompting compared to very complex. If your prompt for the image generation is too long, basically what's going to happen is that tool is going to get a little bit confused, and then you might get something that you really did not want to get, so you need to repeat the process again and again. So I'm just giving you examples here of the good prompt and maybe not so good prompt here. So I guess this is something that you can also have a look at, or maybe test it in some of the AI image generator tools that we have been discussing, that I gave you at the beginning of the presentation. Okay, so let me show you this. I hope you will be able to hear it. AI enhances job productivity by automating routine tasks, providing insightful analytics, enabling smarter decision making. It's not just about. So this video has been created with HeyGen Generative AI. It took me maybe 7 to 8 minutes to generate it from scratch. And for me, this tool particular, so I'm giving you like the those 3 tools that I mentioned before. So for HeyGen, unfortunately, we don't have time now to go to, to actually show you how each and every of those tools works. So HeyGen, it has a free trial. You're getting 1 minute video free trial. They have an option to use their stock avatars, so you can use any of the avatars that they already have. They have photo avatars. The one that you see, it's a free photo avatar. You can actually upload a photo, and then it can be, they're made alive by the generative AI. There is an option also to have custom avatars created, where your avatar will be like full video avatar, and you can clone your own voice. And HeyGen also have an option of automatic translation. So with your clone voice, so basically I could be, if now we would have an avatar here talking, it can talk any language. I mean, from Chinese to German to French, any kind of language, and it would be me speaking the language. This is a really, really great tool. I mean, my favorite. It's very easy to use. And any script that, for example, this script, what I'm talking about, this is also created by generative AI. So you can enter the prompt, you can create your script by ChatGPT, then you can insert it in HeyGen, Synthesia, or any other tool, and it can create your avatar talking about the topic of your interest in a very short time. Synthesia is also, HeyGen and Synthesia are actually the biggest competitors right now in this area, because they're offering really similar things, and they have similar features. Also, it has custom avatars, stock avatars. One thing that Synthesia has, it has like different gestures that your custom avatar can have. And another thing that it has compared to HeyGen is that you can have multiple avatars on screens. Having said that, again, for me, HeyGen is still a little bit better. It's easier to use, easier to create all the avatars, and it's giving you like this free trial where you can, experiment and see how it works for yourself. Runway is a little bit different in a way that it can be used for photo to video generation, which is very interesting. So if you want to create some, nice videos, you can create, for example, some very nice images in a Mid-Journey, then export them in Runway and make them alive. It also had an option for video editing and AI generated videos that you can literally enter the description and it will generate a video of your choice. And also similar to HeyGen, it has photo editing, but option to upload a photo, but it's not giving that good results with making the videos from the photo. HeyGen gives more natural and does not change your face in a way how Runway does it. So all those tools will have some, you can have an option to test them, and I would encourage all of you to have a look at it and have an option to test. Another thing that you can do with AI is actually to create a full website with AI. There is a site called Hukus.com, and what you see here is a test website that I created for the purpose of this training. It took me like 3 minutes, and this Marketing Training Institute, there are courses, there is everything. It's a one-page website. You can scroll and you can edit whatever is there. How this looks like, I'm just going to show you the screen. So literally you're going step by step. It's starting for like, let's go, which category best describe. You're going to answer the set of questions. Based on this set of questions, and then you're going to choose the template that you want to use. Based on that, your website will be generated. After your website is generated, you have an option to edit your website. You can edit. You have also AI tools that will help you, for example, rewrite or generate some additional images, write content. Everything is actually integrated into Hukus.com. So also very interesting thing to test. And last but not least, something that, as I mentioned, is something that I'm really using very often to create some guides, especially for my classes, for students. I'm using a lot of software, so you need to explain to students how to use this and that. There is Scribe. So what you can do with Scribes, a Scribe can completely document what you're doing and make the complete document workflow step by step, how to finish some process. So what you can register, there is a browser extension, it's free. You can select a page that you want to record, start process, and Scribe will automatically create a guide. So this guide look like this. So I documented creating website with Hukus AI step by step, and it will give you in PDF step-by-step guide. Navigate to this website, click here, do this, do that. It will take screenshots of what you're doing and generate a PDF. The only thing is that for this PDF to export it, you would have to pay, but you can have a shareable link that you can share with others in case you don't want to pay for it. There are many other use cases. We really don't have time to cover all of them. And one of the interesting things also that might be applicable across different areas and discipline is note-taking and minutes of meetings. We don't like note-taking. No one likes note-taking. So automatic note-taking is something really that is really, really interesting. Different visuals, writing code. There is really a lot of different applications of generative AI. I think that we touched upon some of the, as I mentioned, some of the things that I'm experienced with, some of the things that I'm using. There are many, many others, and I really encourage you to explore by your own. This is something new. We cannot know this. It was not there when we were finishing our, universities and programs. This is not something that we could have learned at that time. So we're really, really, I think we need to make an effort to educate ourselves for future, because this will be the future of work one way or another. We can expect that AI tools will be integrated in our everyday work in many different areas. So I think we're on time now. I want to thank you all for your attention. I'm ready to respond to any questions that you might have. And also, if you have any additional questions, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nikolina. Thanks a lot for sharing your contact details as well for the audience. If they want to reach you out for any specific area of AI prompting or any kind of tools which you have explored so far, definitely they can reach out to you. So far, I am seeing 3 questions coming from one same person, Marwan from, and then he is more interested to, I think he is trying to understand AI in a much more better details. And his questions are basically coming from the perspective of 2 questions, which are the free platforms, of course, to create audio and videos. I think you mentioned few already there.
Yes.
You want to repeat them out just for the sake of Marwan?
Yes, so you have for videos, you have Hey Gen. This is something that I really like. You have Synthesia. Those 2 are really the most now most used. You have also Runway. Runway is more of the video editing tool, but it's really, really nice. It looks really, really well. And there is one interesting video I'm just looking at, because yesterday I actually find it. It's you can explore within ChatGPT-4 in GPTs. There is something called Vid.io. It's a video GPT by Weed, and it's creating a very nice social media videos. In a format like phone recording, the vertical one, and it will have the captions over the screen. So this is something that I literally discovered yesterday. But it's very nice for the social media videos, and you can create social media videos with that one. Really, there are more and more tools, and frankly, when I started exploring all of this year and a half, many of those tools at a time that were, these were startups, and they were trying to find their place on a market. And even some of those solutions, they're not here anymore. So, and some survived. And this is the case. We have AI solution. This is, I think, the most popular thing for startups now. Everyone wants something AI. And some will have, some of them will be successful, some over the longer time period, maybe not. But these are the ones that I can recommend. And I believe that you will share the PowerPoint with everyone. So I think you can go and actually explore step by step everything that I mentioned. Unfortunately, we did not have time. The best thing would be actually to guide you step by step with every tool, but within an hour and 10 minutes, really,
Yeah,
that's not
indeed,
possible.
indeed. So coming to the other part is that can you just help us in the kind of situation where it's a bit how easy or difficult it's a kind of tricky question, Doctor. How easy or difficult to implement Gen AI in projects and organization level? So it's about scaling and adoption part, and then of course the integrating of these solutions when it goes beyond the individual use. And so how difficult and easy have you found it out in your experience?
Okay, so my experience, considering that I'm working in academia right now, that I'm not in industry anymore, my experience is great because actually I have the freedom as a professor. I'm integrating all those tools into my classes. And really, I have been more than welcome to do that because this is something that students needs to know, needs to learn. My university extremely supportive in that. And this is the key. It's about organization. It's not about individual. If you want to use it individual, this is another thing. But when we want to implement something within a process, then you have to have organizational support and organizational awareness of what can and what cannot be done, how this can benefit or maybe not. And even when, you present all the proofs that it can benefit, at the end, it might depend on some stakeholders, decision makers, if they are going to be open for this type of innovation and no. Because if you want to introduce something, it depends how open your organization is for innovation. This is the first step. This is the critical step, because you can try whatever you want and you can spend a lot of time trying to persuade someone that this is good. But if your organization is not really open to new things, if they are, among the laggards, the slow innovators, there is resistance to change. In every organization, there is resistance to change. So I think this is the crucial point. If organization is open, they will send you to training. They will pay for your training. They will say, go, please go learn. We want to do it. Tell me how I can increase productivity. Tell me how I can optimize my processes. But this is the critical point from my point of view. Again, from my perspective, from coming from the higher education, it's completely different. But I believe this is the main obstacle that some of you might face, and this is within your organization.
Indeed. So I don't know, Tripti, this was a question coming from Tripti. I don't know whether this Tripati, and I'm not sure what industry the person is from. From my experience so far in 1.5 years, where I'm trying to work on this AI solution, just to add to what Doctor said, of course, you hit the nail of the case, the resistance to the change, user adoption and training becomes one of the issues, because everybody doesn't come from the same background to adopt the things. Other 2, 3 things I would like to add up to what Doctor said is compatibility. So every organization has a set of data formats, particular systems already in place. And then when you're trying to bring these new set of ecosystem in it, compatibility becomes an issue to really marry unless the data format and APIs are not in the right frame. Second is data integration. So that's also coming from the data heavily. You have to train the models. If you're using into the databases or CRMs, all those different data formats again create an issue with the data pipeline and other sort of things. And thirdly, and not the last but not the least, is the data privacy and security aspect, depending on the industry what you're in, and then the customization and the flexibility these tools gives you to that what level. So this all play a role together when you try to scale or when you try to bring these tools in a project per se, or even going from the program per se with my item. But thanks a lot, Doctor.
Absolutely, yes.
One question coming from retail, again from Aravan. Is there any kind of inputs you'd like to give to him? How AI can benefit retail businesses in the different segments? Okay, I was expecting something. As it I know that it's not your forte, retail businesses, but you would like to give it a try, or shall I try to give it?
Well, depending on what kind of retail are we talking about. So if we're talking about e-commerce, then definitely yes. And it's already applied with, you can have chatbots. You already have chatbots as a customer support. So if we're talking about this type of retail, then really options, then you might have AI. Again, that would be more of the predictive, not the generative AI, but you already have predictive AI working for us and recommending products and doing all kind of things. When it comes to generative AI, I think the main utilization might be chatbots. And then in a physical stores, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, when we have robots in stores, then maybe we can install all those generative AI and have conversation instead of having actual people in stores.
And that would be a very different experience, because then we need to be ready for getting all sort of different odd so answers, just not the right ones. But I think we see this already happening in Dubai. For example, if you go to I recently saw this example of having a similar experience when I visit a library in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
And then they try to bring this experience of how the customer service can be done with the aspect of somebody who's not there to help you out to find the right book on the right
Mm-hmm.
context, what you're trying to find out in the topic. This robot comes in and try to ask you out. Hello, sir, how can I help you? And then actually what you're trying to search for, because you are
Yeah.
sitting in the section of economy, are you searching for something in this section? So something of that experience was a quite new, and that's how you need to learn about it, that how this robot is being trained about to ask the right question and giving the right relevant answers.
So
So
over time, we might expect this to happen in a regular retail. So you will enter the store and then the service robot will approach you and talk to you.
indeed, indeed. So that's what I think we are moving towards slowly. But yeah, a lot of spaces are there in the retail business. You can get purchasing, sales orders, as she said, about predictive analytics can
Yeah.
play a role. Data entry, of course, generative AI can do a lot of things, automating the things. Cybersecurity, again, it's a kind of tricky space in the Gen AI. But there are
Yeah.
different areas of Gen AI, which is making the roads in the cybersecurity space, especially in the fraud detection and into the intrusion prevention space. That's what I can see, that what is it helping in the businesses. But yeah, I think it's an end of the session, Doctor. I think these are some questions which I thought of bringing it to you. Thank you so much. Uh,
Thank
Again, it's
you.
an evolving space. We learned a lot with you, and of course, we are trying to evolve all of us together in this new journey. So thank you. I think Ankur, you're welcome to now to put the closing for the webinar, and then
Thank,
we can take the depart from there.
thank you, Achal. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Nikolina for putting a light on a topic, AI and the future of the work. She shared a lot of tools which we can use on our daily life to make our business and our activities easy. She shared like ChatGPT, we all know. She shared about ideograms, Synthesia, Runaway, Hookers, and Scribe, and a lot of tools she has shared. Thank you, Nikolina, for sharing those with all of us. And also, she showed that we can do SWOT analysis along with the AI, the tools which will be helping in the business. A lot of people can get a business like creating a PPT, which is like for a lot of people it's a daily routine. And I would like to express my deep appreciation to each and every one of us for sharing us tonight on this webinar and making this a successful one. Also, an appreciation to our marketing team for posting these webinars on our website and social medias, the PMI chapter volunteers from membership team, outreach, volunteering, and finance who support to make these webinar possible. And before signing off, I want to thank Amir, Parvez, Achal for joining us actually. Thank you. And once more, again, to reiterate, we have our annual general meeting on 5th of May, for which the link is already shared in the chat box. So please do subscribe and do the registration. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks everyone, and have a good, lovely evening going ahead. Thanks, Doctor, and thanks the audience. Take care. Have a
Thank
good rest.
you. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.